What is going on, Mail Gang? Boaz here, and as you might have noticed recently, we put out a video where Cisco went over his favorite budget AEGs, because who doesn't love a good budget AEG, especially with as much value as a lot of these airsoft guns are coming out with now, especially at that price point. There's some really good solid options for a lot of airsoft players, whether you're a beginner or someone experienced looking to get into another platform, okay? But we're gonna continue on that trend, okay? We're gonna branch out from just the regular AEGs, and we're gonna be talking about some of our favorite budget airsoft pistols. The very first airsoft pistol we're gonna be taking a look at today is gonna be more of an honorable mention on this list. This is going to be the Double Bell M92 gas blowback airsoft pistol. One thing you'll start to notice about these budget pistols is that they're not gonna come with the same amount of bells and whistles that you would come to expect to find on more expensive or higher end airsoft pistols out there. But one thing I'm really glad to see with the Double Bell M92 is that it does come included with the lower accessories rail, so you can put things on like flashlights and laser units there if you so choose to. But other than that, I really like that this Double Bell M92 does have that enlarged trigger guard as well, so that way it makes use for with gloves a lot easier. But that's kind of where the bells and whistles or like nice things kind of stop with the M92, because the iron sights are just completely painted over. You're not going to get a 3-dot system, no fiber optics at all. They're just, again, bare bones, plain Jane iron sights. And also the barrel, I believe, is not threaded as well, so you can't really expect to put on things like aftermarket trace units or mock suppressors, okay, because again, this is a budget pistol. Internally, things get kind of interesting for the Double Bell M92 because it's not using the Tokyo Marui system, it's not using the WE system, it's not using the KJW system, it's using the KSC system. Huh? Who out here is using the KSC system nowadays? I mean, not even KWA is using the KSC M9 system. In fact, we brought over a KWA M9 PTP and we tried to cross-fit the mags and they don't fit each other. So I don't know why Double Bell decided to go that route when just cloning a TM M9 would be the easiest route to go. Yeah, I don't know. But when you shoot this guy, it is fairly decent. You get that full, nice, realistic blowback action, and you could easily finish one full mag worth of BBs on one fill of green gas, and the effective range is gonna be around that 120-foot mark, which makes it pretty dead average for an airsoft pistol. After it's all said and done, how much does this thing cost? Well, as of right now at airsoftgi.com, the Double Bell M92 gas blowback pistol retails for about $82, which is pretty fantastic because it falls well underneath that $100 price tag. But there's some major caveats with this guy, which is why we kind of put it as more of an honorable mention instead of a contender to be a nice, high-value, budget-friendly airsoft pistol, okay? But there's some good things going for it. So number one, it is full metal, it's nice and hefty, it feels realistic in the hands. That's a big bonus for me, right? And you get the nice full slide reciprocation here. Very nice, okay? You get the nice ambidextrous controls, and I do love the single action trigger, especially after you rack the pistol. You know, firing this guy in single action is pretty nice. It feels good as far as the trigger goes, and the ambidextrous safety, it works well. But there's a lot of other things that are left to be desired, okay? Number one, missed with the threaded outer barrel. I wish there was a threaded outer barrel here so you could put on things like trace units or mock suppressors. No dots, no fiber optics on the iron sights. It's just gonna be a lot slower to aim, in my opinion, especially if you're trying to take more accurate shots. And of course, the biggest thing that makes this guy really limp into that honorable mention territory is that it's using a very obscure system. Granted, the magazine is proprietary, but we do have these magazines available at airsoftgi.com, I believe for about like almost $24. So they're reasonably priced. And the magazines are okay, they're decent, but because it's just not a lot of upgrade potential, there's not a lot of, I guess, like replacement part potential either, and because of how lackluster the externals are, aside from it being peanut butter, I guess, you know, with how bare bones it is, that's the reason why it's in that honorable mention territory. If you're spending less than around that $80 price point, I would say, you know, have a second thought, had to get a second opinion. This is the border, this is the cutoff, okay? Anything cheaper than this, I wouldn't recommend. Now that we're getting to the proper territory for affordable gas blowback airsoft pistols, next up we got the Army Armament R28 1911 gas blowback pistol. Whew, Army Armament. They're always coming out with some really good stuff. Even from the get-go, when I first heard of Army Armament, I was pretty impressed with the amount of really cool stuff that they were able to put out for us airsoft players, and especially for the budget-minded, budget-focused airsoft players. Okay, the R28 looks absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I got the peanut butter version. They do have a black version as well, but if there's an option for peanut butter, I'm taking the peanut butter, okay? I want that FDE, all right? But aside from that, okay, aside from the beautiful two-tone FDE finish, it does have a lot of nifty and nice external features, okay? Starting out number one, the first thing I noticed is the iron sights. The iron sights have fluorescent green paint on them, so you get the nice 3-dot sight system. Makes it a lot easier to line up your sights and get on target really quickly. And one thing I love about 1911s is just that grip angle, okay? The 1911 grip angle is probably one of my favorite grip angles for pistols, both in real life and in airsoft, and the R28 is no exception. Very slim, very nice to grab onto, and they have some really nice textured grip panels as well, which add a nice touch. Next up, obviously, as you can see here, you got the accessories rail. You gotta have it, okay? Especially in any modern airsoft pistol, budget or not, you gotta have an accessories rail, okay? For things like flashlights and laser units, obviously. And to the front, thank goodness they thought about us, the airsoft players. A threaded outer barrel right out of the box, and it comes with a pretty nice, stylish, knurled kind of thread protector to go with it, okay? Nice little touch from Army Armament. Very, very nice, okay? But one thing that I think that gets kind of overlooked, especially with these Army Armament 1911s, is that they come included out of the box with a flared mag well. So I don't know if you can see here on camera, but over here it has a nice flare over here, nice and subtle, not super like gaudy and big and flashy like a lot of these competition hi-capas, right? But subtle, a little subdued, but it does the job. Really helps getting these really small magazines right into the mag well of this 1911 a lot faster, a lot smoother. That's probably got to be one of my favorite features, is that nice slim mag well. When it comes to pistols, Army Armament are TM cloners through and through, which means all the internal and external components are going to be Tokyo Marine 1911 compatible, okay? And there's a really, really big aftermarket for the Tokyo Marine 1911 platform. Well, it's because it's been around forever. So if you need to repair or replace, maintain, upgrade, or customize, okay, the 1911 platform is definitely one of the big platforms out there where you can really customize this guy. And when you shoot it, it's all right, I guess you would say. Because of how big and heavy these slides are, they're not gonna cycle as quickly as you would compared to, like, let's say a more competition-oriented airsoft pistol. But I kind of like that nice chunky kind of blowback action you get from these full metal 1911s. It really reminds me of my very first airsoft pistol. It was a gas blowback 1911. As far as efficiency goes, I would highly recommend that you refill your gas every time you run through a mag on these magazines. I wouldn't recommend going past one mag full of BBs. You're not going to reliably cycle anything past that. But as far as the effective range goes, yeah, you can easily hit targets up to about 100 feet. If you really stretch it, you can go about 120 feet. But because of how easily upgradable the 1911 system is, you can easily do that also with the R28. Okay, so how much does this 1911 cost? Well, as of right now at airsoftgear.com, the Army Armament R28 gas blowback 1911 retails for $90. That's right, $90, still underneath the $100 price tag. And for an airsoft pistol that looks this gorgeous, whew, in that peanut butter colorway, and it's less than $100, and it has some of these nicer features that you would come to find on more expensive airsoft pistols, I think Army Armament kind of knocked it out of the park. Okay, man, should I just start running a 1911 again? It's really giving me that nostalgia. The next pistol on our list is gonna be none other than the Action Army AAP-01, and it is by far my least favorite pistol on this list. But I'm gonna get into a second why it's on this list, because it has surprisingly gotten a lot more affordable here at airsoftgear.com, so we had to put it on the list. If you don't know too much about the AAP-01 from Action Army, it has probably got to be one of the fastest growing airsoft pistol platforms on the market today. And for good reason, because it is a pure performance, pure competition-oriented airsoft pistol. I mean, the whole gun itself is made out of polymer, not metal, because there's no slide. So I guess it's more like a upper and lower kind of assembly group. I don't know exactly how to call it that, but there are very few moving parts on this pistol. But not only that, there's some really nice features that Action Army has included in the pistol right out of the box, such as the 3-dot fiber optic sights. So they're no paint, okay? They're real fiber optics, so they're gonna glow at you when you aim down the sights on your gun. But forget the sights, okay? Because they've also included lots of Picatinny rail space for you to include right out of the box, okay? So you get one section here for the top where you can mount a full-size red dot sight if you want to, okay? And on the bottom, they have a smaller rail segment so you can put things on like a flashlight, or I've seen some people do this, a foregrip. Internally is where the AAPL1 is pretty interesting because largely all the parts are kind of proprietary. It's using the AAPL1 system. But here's the kicker. There's been a huge explosion in aftermarket parts for the AAPL1, not even internally, but externally too. There's tons of different kits that you can do to completely redo the externals for the AAPL1, and the airsoft community absolutely loved it, absolutely took off running with it, okay? So you'll see like the carbine kits for the AAPL1. You'll see people make some weird like Makita Milwaukee power drill replicas with the AAPL1, things of that nature, right? There's all sorts of things out there for the AAPL1, even though it's its own proprietary system. Now, one interesting thing though is that the magazine is going to be using the TM G series magazines, and there are plenty of G series magazines floating around in the airsoft market today. There's tons of magazines out there for you to take advantage of to run this guy. And when you shoot it, it's underwhelming, okay? There's nothing else I can say about it. And the reason why is because there's absolutely no recoil, okay? Because it's not using a slide, it's using an internal bolt system. You barely feel anything when you pull the trigger on this guy. In fact, dare I say, things can get very accurate for you because you have an optic here on the top that doesn't move, it doesn't reciprocate with the slide, it stays perfectly still, and you have a bolt traveling instead of a slide. There's just not a lot going on when you shoot this guy. So you can get some really pinpoint accurate follow-up shots, okay? Even the range on this guy with the stock hop-up, you can get up to 150 feet with this guy. Like we're talking almost, I guess you would say AEG ranges on this pistol with how accurate this is. And I've seen players who run longer inner barrels, run like a long mock suppressor, okay? They have like a rifle length barrel on this pistol. Sometimes when I'm on the field, I'll see people running the AAP1s up. Well, either he's gonna dive bomb me real quick right off the gate, or he's gonna stay in the back and pretend to be a sniper with an airsoft pistol. Oh, and I forgot to mention, these guys go full auto. I wouldn't recommend it though, just because a lot of the G series magazines, they cool down really quickly, so don't expect to do a ton of mag dumps on this guy unless you HPA tap it and put an M4 mag adapter on it. I know you guys, I see you guys out there, and it's absolutely disgusting. Stop, get help, okay? But aside from that, how much does the Action Army AAPL1 cost? As of right now, airsoftgi.com, normally they'll retail for about $130, but right now they're discounted to $105. That's right, $105, right above the $100 price tag. So if you want to be the most disgusting airsoft pistol player out there on your field, okay, make sure to pounce on this because I don't really know how long it's gonna be on sale for $105. All right, cool, I'm done talking about this. Ugh, absolutely gross. It already hurt me to assemble it like this. I've seen so many of these out here. I'm done talking about it. $105, okay? You snooze, you lose, get it out of here. What kind of airsoft pistol video would this be without including a hi-capa? The final affordable airsoft pistol on our list today is gonna be the Golden Eagle. Give me a second real quick, because this is a super long name. The Golden Eagle 3345 OTS 45 hi-capa gas bullet pistol with serrated slide. I'm not saying that ever again on this video, just letting you know. Golden Eagle, fix up your naming conventions, please, because that is such an absolute mouthful to say. For those of you guys who don't know, yes, Golden Eagle will also make gas bullet pistols, including hi-capas, and they do so at a very, very affordable price point. So externally, as you can tell from the get-go, not too much going on here. I guess you would say the fanciest thing about this is gonna be the slide. It has some nice serrations, like in the name, in the front and the rear. It makes gripping the gun a little easier, especially when you're racking it back and forth, and of course reduces weight. And on the sides, you have some pretty small window cuts to let you know you're extra fancy. okay? As far as the iron sights go, I don't mind this at all, actually. They have a blacked out rear sight over here with 2 engraved dots, and the front is gonna be a green fiber optic, which is nice. I do like the combination of the blacked out rear with the fiber optic front. Just makes finding your sight picture a lot easier. Now going towards the bottom, towards the frame, there's nothing there, okay? Not even an accessories rail, so oops, I guess. But the outer barrel is going to be internally threaded, so if you were to, you know, remove the orange tip on this guy, you would be able to put in a thread adapter so you could put on things like tracer units and mock suppressors. Outside of that, moving on to the grip module, it's a very mildly textured grip module. Personally, if I were to own this, I'd stipple the crap out of this grip because there's just not a lot of texture going on there. But you have standard hi-capa style controls, and you have a nice flared magwell. Very, very flared, I might add. So it's gonna make your reloads a lot easier. If you remember what I said earlier in this video, is that when it comes to budget line pistols, there's not a lot of bells and whistles that come along with it, because if you want the extra features, if you want the extra gimmicks, you gotta pay more for them. It's just the way it is. But every once in a while, airsoft companies will just sprinkle on some extra flavor to make their budget line airsoft pistols seem more appealing. But one thing that I realize right now is that I'm so used to seeing hi-capas with red dot sights on them that now that I'm looking at a hi-capa without a red dot mount, it's kind of weird to me. But that's neither here nor there, because internally is really where the Golden Eagle hi-capa starts to shine, because it is 100% Tokyo Marine hi-capa compatible, which make this airsoft gun 100% upgradable, 100% customizable. And if you don't know this already, okay, by now, is that the hi-capa is the biggest aftermarket scene out there for airsoft pistols today, okay? They have probably the most aftermarket parts available. Of course, you can't go to any airsoft field without seeing a custom-built airsoft hi-capa. There's just so much aftermarket stuff floating around for it. You're eventually gonna want to upgrade the performance and the aesthetics on this guy, and the Golden Eagle hi-capa can take it all. When it comes to the performance of the Golden Eagle hi-capa, it shoots okay, it shoots all right. You know, it shoots exactly how you would expect a Tokyo Marine clone hi-capa to shoot, because there is no optic mounted to the slide, and because of all the nice serrations and weight reduction cuts done to it, it's reasonably snappy. Definitely does feel good in the hands when you are firing this guy. Now, when it comes to the range and accuracy, it ranges out exactly how you would expect a stock Tokyo Marine clone hi-capa to shoot. So I was able to have the maximum effective range out to about 130, 140 feet max. But let's talk about the magazine real quick, okay? The magazine that they give you right out of the box, it's okay. It does get you about roughly 2 magazines worth of BBs on a single fill of green gas, which is not bad, but obviously you're not stuck with this magazine because it's Tokyo Marine spec. So you can use other brand magazines such as Lancer Tactical, from Jag, from Army Armament, and of course, Tokyo Marui. So let's talk prices. As of right now at airsoftgi.com, the Golden Eagle hi-capa with serrated slide will run you about $114. So it's hovering right above that $100 price tag, which is pretty good to see. Now, Golden Eagle will also make a lot of different models of the hi-capa, ranging from different barrel lengths, different colors, different styles, some more uglier than others in my opinion, but I specifically like the one with the serrated slide just because, in my opinion, it looks the nicest out of the box, and it sits happily between like that low end of that $90 price range to like the higher $120 price range for pistols. I think it's a very nice happy medium and a great platform to really start building and customizing your hi-capa to your liking. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out our video on affordable gas blowback pistols. Personally, I don't think that they get as much attention as AEGs. And when it comes to newer players, I've always recommended that if they wanted another airsoft gun and they already have their great starter AEG, I've always recommended that they check out a nice affordable gas blowback pistol, because it's really fun to use, especially when you're playing on an airsoft. Like switching out to a sidearm is always super cool and badass. And I think it's a very useful tool to have while you're playing airsoft out there. But let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. All of these great affordable airsoft pistols are going to be available right now at airsoftgi.com, whether it's the hi-capa, the honorary mention, the double barrel M9, the AAP01, and of course my personal favorite, the Army Armament R28 1911. Yeah, so let us know what you guys think down below and why the 1911 is the best airsoft pistol platform out there. But other than that, if you guys want to help the channel out, please make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to get notified of every time we upload a new video. And if you want to support the channel directly, the best way to do so is to make sure to head over to airsoftgi.com, where again, all these great affordable airsoft pistols are available. And of course, we have tons of great deals going on every single day to make sure you don't miss out. My name is Boaz. We'll catch you next time, Mail Gang.